Today I'm going to be discussing and showing you how I'm able to find 20 to 40 new arbitrage leads per day, just following a simple 3-step process. And ultimately it's something that I've been able to do regularly over the last 4, 5, 6 months at this point. And it's a pretty simple process using a few different tools. Now there are tools required for this. I've got other videos on how to use just Keepa and the Keepa Data Product Finder to find leads and opportunities on this channel, but we will be going through a few different software programs that I recommend using if you're looking to really grow and scale your arbitrage lead finding process. As I've been discussing on this channel and in other places, you want to be able to save data. You want to find leads that you're able to save for long-term use much further into the future using one tool that we're going to go through. And ultimately, this has been extremely helpful for me and anybody else that I've seen implement it to find good opportunities on a consistent basis, on an evergreen basis, that they wake up each day and they're able to find new leads. So let's get into it. But before we do, my name's Jimmy Smith. I have grown and scaled multiple 6- and 7-figure businesses online, and I've helped thousands of other sellers to do the same. Ultimately, I am doing these videos because I want to make online selling simple for those that are seeking financial freedom. And I want to help people go from 0 to 5 or 10K per month just from free content. And I love that portion of it, and give them training and resources for going beyond that too, whenever they're ready. So let's get into the simple 3-step process. Now, the very first thing that I've seen help a lot of new sellers right now and experienced sellers is using a tool called Nepto. Now you can actually check that out with a huge discount at askjimmysmith.com/Nepto. This video is not sponsored. I actually just like the service that they provide. I've done some videos on it, but ultimately they have set up a great discount here. But Nepto is able to match up online retailers with ASINs on Amazon. And these retailers, a lot of them, I highly recommend just checking out. If we click on checking out the online retailers here and sourcing through them, Nepto will pull back a list of items that match from Famous Footwear to Amazon, or Zappos to Amazon, or Bass Pro to Amazon. You know, all of these different retail suppliers are matched from an ASIN to the product on the supplier's website. And so this is huge because this gives you a lot of options right out the gate each and every day if you're looking for certain types of products. You can also come up here and you can utilize the category. You can decide what category you'd like to sell in. You can go into ROI and you can actually change the ROI up. If you want a minimum, let's just say 30% return on investment, click on save there and it will pull back products that have a minimum ROI or a minimum profit. And you can also look at more filters if you want to factor in minimum $4 profit and a 30% return on investment. Click on close here and it will pull back all of these options. So this is a great place to start. Now, if you don't want to be selling clothing and shoes, you can filter that category out. If you don't want to sell from certain suppliers, you can choose what suppliers you do want to source products from, and you can go through and select different ones that you trust, ones that you know of, and have legitimate authenticity for the products that they are selling. Ultimately, this is huge. I've got a ton of different suppliers on here. And so this has been a very quick way to find leads. Now, because this is a software tool that everyone has access to if they have purchased it, then you have to be careful with some of the items that you are purchasing, right? You have to make sure that they've got some price stability so that other sellers aren't also buying this and tanking the prices, etc. And so I do recommend going through. You want to save these leads. You want to save the information. You want to save that it's got a link to a store and a link to an ASIN, and as well as a cost. And you can actually save that data inside of a tool that's called Replen Dashboard. Now, I helped to put this together. I'm one of the co-owners of Replen Dashboard. For new sellers, it's $7 per month. It's extremely cheap. And if you're more advanced, you've got tens of thousands of leads, it goes up from there. You can store these leads into Replen Dashboard, right? You don't have to purchase them directly right now. You can if you want. But ultimately, if you store these in Replen Dashboard or some other software that's similar, you can go through. I've got 23,000 leads in this example system right here. These are all real. And I can go through and say, hey, I want to see items that have a 30% return on investment or higher. And that brings the total down quite a bit. I can go through and say that I want to see items with the supplier of, I use VitaCost a lot just for the example here. And so I want to see items with just VitaCost as the supplier. Well, now I've taken that down, that list, quite to a much smaller amount with a 30% return on investment, which means it's currently profitable based off the buy box price and the costs that I put in there. And I can see the items from VitaCost. And so by combining Nepto and what it does with matching products to the supplier, I can then take that data and put it inside of a lead tracker to look for the most profitable opportunities as they come up. Or let's say that I get a discount at VitaCost and I can pull up all of the items from VitaCost that I have in my lead tracker, and I can find items that were typically 15% return on investment, but now with an additional 25% discount, they become much more highly profitable. This has helped. This is something that if you have thousands of leads in here and you just get a 1% conversion from lead to actual product product you purchase, that's going to add up over the year to a huge amount of profit. And just by utilizing these two tools, you can see a much bigger benefit. The next thing is actually using leads lists. It's up to you if you want to use leads lists. There is one that I recommend at askjimmysmith.com/OA cheddar. That link will be below and in the description. But you can also have your own leads from virtual assistants or from places like Nepto. Now let's take an example from Nepto. I'm going to get out of the clothing and shoes. Let's take a look at this Amazon listing. So I'm going to click into this. It's going to open up onto Amazon, the actual product. Now what I can do then is actually utilize the brand and utilize the Keepa Data Product Finder. Now I don't know anything about this brand. I did not test this beforehand, which sometimes can be a mistake. So let's see what we get. If I scroll down to Keepa here, this isn't the fastest moving product. So let's see if this brand actually has other things. So if I go to data and then I allow the product details to load right here, once that loads, I can then click on the brand name that will open up into Keepa specifically, and it'll allow me to find any products with that brand. Now, if there's only one product on Amazon with that brand, that can be difficult, but I'm hoping that there's going to be much more with that brand name, again, because I did not run this example ahead of time. So there are a lot of products with that brand name. All right. So we know that based off of this Nepto finding that this is at Best Buy. This product is there. Now we could then go through and source these branded items for that same exact brand to see if Best Buy also has those, or we could find a new supplier. We can also go back into the advanced filter. We've got 696 items that have that brand attached to it. If I zoom in there, you can see it according to Keepa. And then we could actually start to filter out results that we'd like to see, that maybe Amazon is out of stock. We want to make sure that the sales rank is under 250,000, something to that effect. And now there's only 7 products that pulled back, which is pretty crazy. I could just specifically look at those 7 products and see what we have on those listings. If I click into this one, for instance, we can see that this particular product is fairly stable. It's only got 2 sellers on the listing. So I'd want to make sure if this was something that I could sell or not, but you get the gist, right? We can then take a lead that we find from Nepto. We can take a lead that we get off of a lead list like OA Cheddar or another lead list provider, and we can go and do a deep dive on the brand specifically by clicking down into the Keepa chart, clicking data, clicking product details, and then clicking into that brand, and then refining that search result using the advanced filter. Now, because this has, it seems to be a very specific type of brand, this may not be the best example, because what I would also want to do is refine this even further and make sure that there's at least 3 sellers on a listing to avoid any exclusive products, and just take a look at those potential items as well. And there's a lot of other training that I've got on this channel and other places for the Keepa Data Product Finder and how to best maximize it. So really we took 600 and something products for that brand and pulled it down to just one product that has 3 sellers on it or more across the board. And now we've got a good opportunity here if we can find the supplier for this, which may be the exact thing. Let's see if this was the same. Yep, this is the one that Nepto found. So that's great, right? That should add some confidence here that they're at least finding the right things. Now we can run this again, and this is going to find us more leads, right? So let's take a look at something that's maybe a little bit of a bigger brand. Let's say we want to do, I'm trying to avoid Nike because so many people are gated in Nike. You might be gated in a lot of these different products, so I'm not 100% sure. Let's just use this Champion product here. So I'm going to click into this, and we're going to run that same exact search result essentially for Champion, and that same process. Where we scroll down here, we allow Keepa to load. We click on data there. Allow the product details to then load. We know Champion has a lot of products. You may or may not be gated in it. And scroll down here, click on the brand. It'll open up here in Keepa. Then this will show a lot of results. I'm just going to go back. It's got over 10,000 results in Keepa. Let's go to advanced filter. And then we've got 301,000 products with the brand name of Champion. So we could then go through and, do our 250,000 or whatever maximum sales rank we'd want to see. We can see that that brought us down to just about 11,000 products right now. If it's a consistent seller, 9,000 products. Let's see if Amazon's out of stock. 7,000 left over, and we can take a look at anything that's over $15 across the board. Now you can do some fancy stuff with the Keepa Data Product Finder to find things that are increasing in prices, but ultimately we're just trying to narrow down our results right now and go through them if we were interested in selling Champion products. See if there's 3 sellers across the board. Now we're down to 487 products. And if you really wanted to take it one step further, you could use that there's at least 2 FBA offers on there. So now we're at 162 products. I don't recommend that all the time, but it can narrow it down to opportunities for you to fulfill things by Amazon and find good arbitrage opportunities because there's at least 2 FBA sellers on there. Then you can continue refining if you'd like to do so further. Most likely there's going to be a lot of variations. Let's see if we click on no variations. There's 10 products. So for the purposes of this video, we're going to look at items from Champion that have 2 FBA sellers, 10 products that came back with no variations as well. So this is interesting. We actually got some Spark plugs that came back here. And so this would be something that I would try to look into. Seems to be a very steady buy box. Ultimately, the sellers seem fairly steady. It sells over 200 times per month. This may be more of a wholesale style account, and it's got 2 ends there. So I don't know if I would trust this listing. So let's actually take a look at some of the clothes here. It looks like we've got some boxers here, and those prices jump up and down. You can see a lot of sellers have come on here, fallen off, and then come back. And the price recently has gone from 20 up to $26. So if you can find this exact product, potentially could make some good money, because you can see a lot of sellers have found this and were able to send this into Amazon. This is just a way to kind of capitalize on an opportunity where you have a lead from Nepto. Maybe you have the lead in Replen Dashboard, or you have the lead from a lead list, and you can start to hone in on those brands because you already have a supplier for that brand from someplace else, right? For Champion, for instance, this Champion product was at Belk, and there's a ton of different places you can buy Champion from. The prior brand was from Best Buy, and so maybe that prior brand has more products at Best Buy that you can also sell. So this is how you can add 20 to 40 leads per day into your system, and then you want to make sure to store those leads inside of Replen Dashboard or something similar, where you can filter for the best return on investment. You can filter by supplier. You have the buy links here that you've already uploaded, so you can go and purchase those products again from the supplier website. You can actually export products from Nepto and import them into Replen Dashboard if you were to go up here and click on export. So there's a lot of cool things that you can do if you really try to maximize this system. Ultimately, this is how you can start adding. Even if you added 5 or 10 per day, that would be great. It's better than having 0 or finding 1 or 2. You're trying to store this data to come back to in the future so that you can have a profitable Amazon business for a long time. It always comes back to data and how much data that you have available at your fingertips. This is how you can get more of that and to do it at scale and in a quick process. If you are looking to grow and scale your Amazon or e-commerce business, you're doing over 5K per month on Amazon, I highly recommend checking out my Business Building Legends community. This is a sales pitch. I totally get it. You don't have to do this, but if you're interested in checking that out, all the 100 plus systems that we have available to you and training for growing and scaling your Amazon, eBay, or Walmart business, you can apply at askjimmysmith.com/legends. And if you're under $5,000 per month in sales, that's why I make all of this content free on YouTube. I've done hundreds of videos, and I have a free training at my website. You can find that link in the description below if you're interested in getting 30 days of free training there. Ultimately, I hope this video helps you and blesses you. Ask any questions you have down below. I hope you have a great rest of your day and a blessed rest of your week.